Today I'm doing a head shaving tutorial. Well, I was watching a YouTube video headlined head shaving tutorial, 17 years experience. Well, I've got 19 years experience, so yeah, and I didn't like the video that I was watching, so I thought I would do one that's for me and hopefully for you as well. So this is about wet shaving, so no electric razors, shaving your head with a wet shaving tool. So what can you use on the head? Well, you can use a straight razor if you dare, or you can use a Shave&Butcher, we call them. It's like a straight razor, but you put in blades that you can exchange from time to time, so you don't have to sharpen and strop like you do with a straight razor. Or you can use a safety razor, so called. This is a double-edged safety razor. So you put one of those blades in there. Don't use the ones you have for carpets or cutting wallpaper. Use a purpose one for shaving. Or you can use a disposable multi-blade razor, or this one is one where you change cartridges when they're worn out. They're typically multi-blade type razors with blades sitting very smugly, tightly together. Problem with that, if you shave your head in particular, and if you have a few days of growth, is that they clog up because the distance between the blades is so little. So you can use those. I do when I travel by air and I don't want to check a bag in, I pack one of those. But I much prefer to shave with, head shaving gear that takes blades that you can change, and you can actually put them in with different distances in between. This one is a Shave&Butcher from Germany. One I will use to demonstrate the head shave today is Leaf, and it's American. So the Leaf razor is similar to a straight razor, to a cartridge razor, in that you have multiple blades that you put in. The difference is that you put in these double-edged safety blade razors. You cut them in two, and you can put 1, 2, 3 of those half double-edged blades in there. I'm going to put in 2 because I usually do, and it's not all that complicated. You take one of those which has double edges that are sharp. You snap them in 2 inside the package so you don't cut yourself. There you go. You hear the clicking sound and out they come. This is a blade from Japan called Feather, and they're good and they're sharp, and they have glue on them so you don't lose them, hopefully. There you go. Here's half a DE blade. So this is hard to do on camera, but essentially there are magnets in here. So you put them in, see, they don't fall out. You make sure they're in the correct position, which I will do off camera, and I really should have glasses. There you go. You fold down one of these separators and you put in blade number 2. So I get 8 head shaves on one set of blades, and then I have to change them, just like pretty much like I do with a cartridge razor. So this is where you bring the glasses to class. There's number 2, and you can put a third one in, but I don't, because I don't need to. But you can adjust as you want to. So you have 2 blades in there with a bigger distance in between than you do on the cartridge, which is good so this doesn't clog with a lot of gooey cut-off hairs, basically. Now, what do you use as a lubricant? Because you need something. Well, you could shave with just water if that's uncomfortable. You can shave with an oil of sorts. You can shave with a hair conditioner, for example. I prefer much to shave with a shaving soap. So you get them as hard soaps. This is artisan one with a Formula One theme. Lots of stuff like that around, but you can also buy a simple shaving cream on a tube in your hardware or in your supermarket, or get one of those with a pump. This is from Australia. This is palm olive. I'll use this palm olive today and put that on as a cream. You can put it on with your hand and rub it into the stubble, and that works just fine. I prefer the ritual that you get from using a brush and sort of creating a lather. So I have different shaving brushes. You can get one with synthetic hair, which mimics natural hairbrushes, or you get a natural hairbrush if you want to. This one is nice. It's badger hair, or you can use one with horse hair. Badgers do get hurt in the process, so if you're sensitive to that, or if not hurting animals is important, a horse brush is good, because horses don't get hurt when the hair is cut, basically. Or you use a pig, or what we call a boar brush, also fine. I'll use a synthetic today because it's easy, pretty convenient. Now you can shave your head and face in many different ways. This is how I do it. I get the head wet, get the brush wet. Just hold it under the water. I squeeze out most of the water. You take a teeny bit of soap. Yeah, yay much, for example. And I work that into, well, I was going to say hair on the head. There's not a lot of hair there, but there's more hair in a few of the places on the head. So just rub that into the stubble, pretty much. Now, when you do this, it gets a bit dry, and you want moisture into the lather, because then it glides better and you shave it off more easily. So what I do is I add water by just putting the brush under the tap, the faucet, a few times, get a bit of water in there just to mix it up. And basically building a lather is something you do by mixing soap and water and use a bit of agitation. And you don't have to do this. I find it soothing, calming. It's a bit of a Zen moment. And that's given me a pretty good lather. Now, I like my lathers wet, so you can shave with that. I don't. I put even more water in. And if you experiment with this, you'll find your own style, and you'll find your own kind of lather, what you like. The more water you have in it, the easier it is to shave off the head. And I think that's going to do. Look, little peaks, pretty easy. You can use foam on a can. We call that canned goo in the wet shaving community, and we frown upon it. It works just fine. But I do this because it's a nice little ritual. Plus, I exfoliate the skin by using the brush and rubbing it on the head. I exfoliate with this as well. But if you have a coarse brush like a boar or pig brush, then you remove a lot of dead skin cells. So you can shave once, twice, 3 times, whatever you want to. You can shave with the growth, with the grain, and you could figure out exactly what the score is with that. You can do against the growth, against the grain to get really close. You can do all sorts of things. I typically just do one pass, shave it off, and I shave essentially with the growth, with the grain, not to mess with the hair. I don't press the razor more than I have to. If you have good razor blades in there, they will cut. Super easy to rinse off. Nothing sticks between the lamellas. And you know, this just cuts effortlessly through what is 2 days of growth. I tug my ear to make sure I get really close to the ear, and then I follow the ear behind as well to make sure I get all that. Very little pressure means less irritation and a lower risk for cuts. You see, I move the razor and then I feel with my hand to make sure I get everything. And I pretty much do. So this is safe. I almost never cut myself. I only cut myself when I go sideways. It's a bad idea. It happens from time to time. I switch hands when I shave the other side of the head. You definitely don't have to do that, but I do. So I've done this so many times, almost every day. I'd say 5 to 6 days a week for 19 and a half years. So I've done this many, many times. So most of what I do is on muscle memory. I want to get close to the ears. I pull the ear down and I just go all the way. This makes sure I don't cut myself. If I would use a straight razor on my head, and I do occasionally, then I would have to pay much more attention. I rinse from time to time. But the video I was watching said, don't use shaving cream because it's sticky and it clogs up the razor. Well, not if you get the right kind of lather. You mix it up with a bit of water to make sure it's wet enough, and then you can use even one of those. You have to rinse more often, but that's, it's an altogether more pleasant experience than using conditioner, I think. So I think I'm done. I wet my hand, I feel to see what I've missed, and there's usually something. Oh, it was pretty good. I just go afterwards to do a bit of pickups. Now, what I could do is put another coating on. Just show you as an example. I never do this, and go against the growth. Now, that gives me a smooth feeling. If I do that, often enough, you get the same kind of smoothness as you get on your nose or forehead. So if you want to get a shave that is as close as that, then by all means do. Now, I heard in this other video that conditioner is better than shaving cream because conditioner moisturizes the skin. Well, if you put anything on your head and you shave your head with a sharp object, you're scraping off natural oils and stuff that are lubricants or moisturizers, natural moisturizers in the skin, no matter what you use as your lubricant. So if you're conscientious about moisturizing your skin, and I am, if you want to make sure your skin is supple and looks good, you want to use a moisturizer. So I do just any moisturizer, your wife's moisturizer. I've got loads of creams and stuff because I'm a wet shaving degenerate. This is one made by a friend of mine, and it's all natural. Doesn't have to be. You can use something from the supermarket, which would be a bit easier, perhaps. Just moisturize your head after you shave. Why on earth not? It makes everything better. You feel better, you look better, you wake up with a skin in plan form. So that's it. That's what I do. That was a head shaving tutorial. And you know, I shave my way, you shave your way. Your mileage may vary, and it's your shave. So, like a friend of mine says, do it your way. Thanks for watching. If you like this, subscribe to the channel by all means. I do loads of shaving stuff, and that's all I do. Thanks for watching. See you soon. Stay sharp.